Before, really, I was only half a person.
They were signing at me. I didn't have a clue what they were saying. Not a clue.
The night I saw a deaf man acting on stage changed my life.
Hi, my name is John.
My name is Joanne, and this is my sign name.
My name is Emily.
I realised I was deaf when I went to school. I went to primary school late. Everyone else had started a week or two before me. I don't know why I started late. I had to sit at the front of the classroom. I wore a hearing aid with wires and a harness. The teacher had a microphone. I remember looking round and realising I was the only one. I realised I was different.
I was at junior school for 4 years. There were a lot of beatings and abuse, and I felt left out. I tried to fit in, but I couldn't. There was a partially hearing unit with deaf children who I couldn't mix with because I was in the mainstream school. I became more withdrawn and left on my own. After 4 years, I'd had enough. I told the teacher of the deaf that I wanted to talk to her. She was a bit taken aback and wondered why I wanted to talk to her, but I insisted. We sat down and I poured out 4 years of frustration, exclusion, isolation, and struggle. I said that in 4 years I'd learned nothing. She said, "Oh well, you're leaving soon, I wouldn't worry."
Looking back at my secondary school experiences, they could have been better. How? By giving me support, like an interpreter or a note taker. Then I could have focused on my work and not the communication.
We had swimming lessons at school. The PE teacher was a really strict woman, really strict. We went swimming and I got changed as normal. The class lined up along the pool with the teacher opposite us. I remember I'd taken my hearing aids out and the teacher was too far away. I was trying to lip read her and I caught her saying, "When I say go, jump in." I was in the middle of the line. And when she said go, 2 of us jumped in. We were supposed to jump in one by one. When I swam to the surface, I realised I'd got it wrong. I looked at the teacher and she said, "Get out." I swam to the side and got out, and she told me to sit next to her. I sat there for the next hour, shivering.
Growing up, at school, I was always told I was quiet. I didn't think of myself as quiet. They spoke to me when I wasn't looking, and I didn't reply. Not replying didn't mean I was quiet, it meant I couldn't hear them.
I didn't feel isolated at school. I felt different. Communicating with one person was fine, even talking to two people. But groups were difficult, and at school there were a lot of groups. Towards the end of school, I felt I wasn't the same as everyone else. I felt like I was a different person, not the same as them.
After secondary school, I thought that at last I could do what I wanted. I wanted to do a course in theatre studies because I loved it. But my teacher told me that although I was good and had the skills, because I was deaf, I couldn't have a career as an actor. I was disappointed, but I accepted it. And I went to Horse College instead. Definitely. Part of the reason horses are special is because they don't speak. You communicate through feelings and emotions, and the bond you have, not speech. When things got too much for me and I couldn't cope, I'd go off with my horse. I'd offload my emotions, and sometimes I'd cry, but my horse was never unsettled. He was always calm. Sometimes I'd collapse onto him, but still he was calm. Then later, when I'd recovered, he'd gallop off and enjoy himself. It was like he thought, "I've looked after you, now it's time for fun." Working with horses gave me confidence, and I became happier about who I was. I thought I wanted to act again and wondered why I'd listened to my teacher. So I decided to try again, and I started acting. But with mainstream companies on mainstream projects. So I was always speaking and still trying to lip read. I enjoyed it, but it was a struggle.
It was my 18th birthday. I invited my whole year at school, 40 children. The party was on a Saturday night. On the day, how many came? 3. I realised this wasn't my community, and never would be. That was it. I finished my A-levels and got my results. I realised I had failed all 3 of my A-levels. I was sitting with my father in the car, and a tear was rolling down my face. My father said how sorry he was, but I knew that I'd studied for 2 years and missed everything. That was why I failed. I was devastated. I decided to go on a Friends of the Young Deaf leadership training course. I went because I wanted to meet other young deaf and hearing people the same age as me. And I wanted to compare my life with theirs Were our lives the same or different? I was a bit hesitant at first, but then I decided to introduce myself. I said, "Hi, I'm John." They were signing at me. I didn't have a clue what they were saying. Not a clue. On the leadership training course, I met lots of new faces. As time went by, I got to know them better and saw their different characters. Some of them were strong and confident, others quieter and shy. Some of them signed fluently and others softly. They were different. They were different characters. They all wanted to belong and be part of a group. I wanted that too. I had such a good time with them all. It was brilliant, and I grew in confidence. At the end, I saw my parents. I knew they were coming to pick me up. As their car approached, I made eye contact and told them where the car park was. I signed where the car park was to them. My parents looked at me, and my mother said, "Don't sign." I stopped and walked over to where they'd parked and knocked on the window. My mother wound down the window. I said, "Mum, the people I've met here are really lovely. Maybe we don't need to sign, and that's fine. But they sign, and I want to sign with them, so I will sign, okay?" My mother said, "Okay, fine, it's your decision."
My mum used to get a magazine every month, a deaf magazine. One time, I was reading it when I spotted an advert. It was an opportunity to go to Gallaudet, the only deaf university in the world, in Washington, D.C., America. I knew it was for me as soon as I saw it. It was an opportunity to learn about deaf culture, the deaf community, and its history. When I saw it, I knew I had to go. When I first arrived, I only knew Level 1 British Sign Language, so it was tough to follow. They'd used American Sign Language all their lives and were so fluent. I couldn't understand them. So I had to learn quickly, really quickly. I was really lucky. I was there for 4 weeks, and in the third week, the Deaf Way conference was being held. Where? At Gallaudet University. How lucky was I? I have to say that had the biggest impact on me. I saw the skills they had in dancing, sign poetry, sculpture, art, film, so many things. I learnt so much. It was lovely. I remember feeling that the British deaf world was small. At Gallaudet, I saw the American deaf world. But at Deaf Way, I saw that we were part of a bigger world. With deaf people from different countries, using different sign languages. That really opened my eyes and my mind to a new reality. These people are me. We are the same. This is where I belong. This is my world. I relate to them. I'm the same as them. They understand me, and I understand them. It really hit me. I'm home.
What do you think Gallaudet gave me?
I think you've been brought up in a hearing world where you didn't quite fit, and you discovered a deaf world which you fitted perfectly. And it was like finding, I remember you saying your family, so it was finding your own people, and that was a lovely thing.
How did it make you feel, seeing that, like the changes in me?
Very emotional, because I see you as a complete person, and I think you're fulfilled, and before you were broken.
Slowly, over time, I got involved with different groups, learning to sign and mixing with them. Then a friend asked me to go to a house party. I remember we were laughing and they were teasing me. I played a game and got flour on my face. There were jokes about me being oral and using gestures. It was all good fun, and I had a great time. I noticed light shining through a window. I thought it might be someone's car headlights. Maybe we'd been too noisy. I opened the window and looked outside. It was the sun rising. I realised it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I was amazed. I'd never been able to chat until 5 in the morning. It was impossible. Why? Because lip reading all night was hard, but with signing, I could go on and on. I realised that was the value of sign language. It was more relaxing. I felt like a new person, like a different person. I could sign and communicate non-stop. I'd never been able to do that at hearing parties. I'd get tired and go home early. Now I could stay late and be part of the party. So, looking back to then and now, have I changed, do you think?
Big time. That day at the party, you were very reserved and shy. Now you're completely different. You're confident, involved with deaf organisations, and you're very proactive. You were an FYD, weren't you? That changed you, I think. You embraced that. Lots of deaf people were part of FYD, and you were very involved with that.
Your party was really the first time I felt part of something. A community. Honestly, after that party, I wanted to have that experience again and again. That was down to your party.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just an event. I didn't realise how big an effect it had on you. I'm very pleased that happened, because you are what you are now because of that party. It's interesting because I certainly didn't plan to change your life.
Of course not.
I'm really glad I invited you.
Well, I'm glad I went.
I'd started acting in mainstream theatre. One night, I decided to go and see Reasons to be Cheerful by Grey Eye Theatre Company. There was a deaf man acting. With other actors signing too, not just him on his own. It blew my mind. Blew my mind.
Colin here, the anarchist, made the short... Colin made the short films to go along with some of the songs. He'll be playing himself in the play tonight.
That night I realised that there is so much diversity. You don't have to be in mainstream theatre and pretend to be hearing, speaking and lip reading. You can accept you are deaf and carry on acting. You can. When I first met Stephen, my first impression was I hated him. No, he was lovely. He was the first deaf person I'd really talked to. And he could not have been nicer. He was open and warm, and I felt a bond with him. I still do now.
Let's go and have a chat.
So I saw your play that night. Then 3 weeks later there was a workshop. I came and you were there. So that was the first time we met. What did you think of me?
Well, you were a little uncertain and unsure of your place. But over time you realised you were fine. You said, I like this. I want to do more of this. I remember you asked me how you could get more involved. I said that you can't learn sign language quickly. It takes time.
It's funny you saying I asked you about learning to sign. Because now, 4 years later, when I sign, people come and ask me how they can learn to sign. How things have changed.
Exactly. It's important who you meet, because that person can have a positive effect.
Now, I work as a teacher. So looking back at what Gallaudet gave me, and I still have today, it gave me deaf pride, deaf rights, and empowerment. And I want to pass these values on to deaf children, to give them a sense of identity, be a role model, give them pride and an acceptance of their deafness. I think it's important to pass that on. Deaf identity means I'm proud to be deaf. Hearing people wonder how you can be proud to be deaf, but I am proud because I have a language, sign language. I have a shared history. I have a culture. I belong to a group. That's identity. I'm really proud of my deaf identity.
Before the performance I saw that night, I'd kept my deaf identity secret and separate. I was embarrassed and acted as if I was hearing. I kept my deafness separate. After watching the show, all that changed. I opened up and allowed myself to be deaf. I didn't keep the hearing Emily and the deaf Emily separate anymore. They're now one and the same. It's better. I'm me.
The deaf world has given me a community, an identity, a way of life. I can socialise with people. It's given me a husband, a partner. It's given me a job so I can work. It's given me a language so I can communicate. A language that suits me, that I can use to express myself. It's given me a complete and seamless life, with extensive networks and a community I can be part of any time. With people I can meet up with at weekends who are always there for me and give me confidence. That's lovely. Hi, it's my birthday party. I'm 43. This is my party, and these are my friends.